Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craft Tree. I have a couple of huge stacks of paper and stuff because I am going to do another 12 journals. I recently did 12 at a retreat that I was on. I kind of mass made, assembly lined them, and I actually rather enjoyed the whole process. I did some videos on it. These ones, I'm going to do another 12 journals, and these are going to be tall, skinny journals. I have not done any of them yet, and I'm going to make 12 of them. Now, I've got a whole bunch of digital kits that I've already had printed out. I do print all of my digital stuff that I make because I want to make sure it prints out nice, and it looks nice when it's printed and everything. Although I know it does depend on a person's printer and stuff. But the best I can do is print it on my printer. So I've dug out all kinds of papers. And the other 12 that I did, I also did them out of my digital kits. Now these are mostly paper packs. And then I've got extra papers. So I wanted to kind of take you along on some of it. And this is how I started because people asked, how did I do 12? This is how it started. I've got my piles of digital papers. Now these ones here could be portrait or landscape. And my plan is I'm just going to be folding these in half. And that's how tall and skinny my journals are going to be. So they're going to be about 4 1/4 by 11, roughly. Most of these have been printed borderless, and I'm thinking on doing fabric covers, not 100% sure yet. So I've got, and these kits are all on Coffee and on Etsy, so I figure that there's at least enough to do 2 books, 2 journals of each with extra stuff added. So we've got this one here, and then we've got the daisies. Some have bees, dragonflies. I think there's butterflies as well somewhere, but love these papers, and it's going to be really nice using these. So we've got the daisy ones. We've got purple flowers. And these have different ones. I do have to go through all these and make sure that I print or do something to the backs. Some are already backed, but some aren't. So I will back them all. So that's something that I'll be doing over the next day or so. And then we do have some ephemera kits for some of them. The Rambling Rose happens to have an ephemera kit for it. And then here is all the papers for that. And again, I got to do the backs, and then of course they'll just get folded like that. And because they're going to be tall, skinny, a lot of the stuff that I've pre-made won't be able to go into these. So I am going to mass make a bunch of stuff to go into these journals. And I'm going to take you along for that ride for when I do that. And then we've got another purple lilacs. Love lilacs. They are my favorite flower. So these are going to make some awesome journals. Some of these are meant to be portrait or landscape, I mean. But I think they can all be done portrait as well. Even though the writing's on the side, it's still going to be fine. So we got that kit that we're going to use. We have lots and lots for the butterfly kit. Now some of these are definitely landscape ones, but I thought I can use them for maybe decorating inside the journal. But there is lots of portrait pages as well. So we're gonna do a couple journals with that. And then we have Maple Leaf Madness, which also has an ephemera kit, but lots of different pages, and they come in a faded as well as a non-faded background. So there is tons of papers for that too. Then I went through a bunch of stuff. Oh, let's just go through this here. These were just odds and ends of kind of background papers. And they go to a couple of the paper kits. So I'm going to use those in there as well. And while I was going through my file cabinet, I dug out a few things that I thought I could use to make ephemera and whatnot for these journals. So I have some receipts and stuff, a whole kit of that. We have these painted flower digital kit. I thought they are tall, not tall, but skinny-ish. So I should be able to use some of those in there. There's some other different sizes. Then we also have these perfume labels that I made. And I thought they would make nice pockets and whatnot, because of the fact most of the kits that I pulled out are flower related type stuff. So these I think would be really good in there. And I've already got them printed, so I'm going to try and use some stuff up. I've got all these fruit box labels, and I thought I might be able to use some of those in there. I've got some mushrooms from one of my mushroom kits. So as I say, I'm trying to use up stuff that I've already got printed and whatnot. Then we've got a whole bunch of William Morris stuff, and I'm just going to pull this out. And I thought these would be good for journal cards and whatnot. And there's also like a muted background on them. So I'm pretty sure that I can use some of that in there, if nothing else, for some collage stuff and whatnot. But there's a whole bunch of that. We've got these daisy cards too, which I thought would go really nice with a lot of these flowers. So I'm going to try to put some of those in there. I figured while I'm digging in there, I might as well dig this stuff out and keep it out with my stuff. Just so then it's there for when the time comes that I am ready to do the ephemera. Now we've got lots of these. There's bookmarks. And what else is there? Lots of bookmarks, some journal cards. They're about the size of a playing card. So they will come in handy for in there as well. And again, these are all in my shops if there's something that you like. There's these which would make great paper clips, or just a little accent on a bigger piece, because all my tags are going to have to be a little bit longer, a little bit skinnier. So just fun. And then there's some really little ones, which who knows what I'm going to use them for. But because they were flower themed, they'll go in the other ones. Then I've also got this collage set. I didn't realize that these were actually done on a cardstock. So these would make really good tag bases. And this height would be perfect. So that's kind of what I'm thinking now that I know that these are on cardstock. That's probably what I'll use them for, is tags and cards as a base. So I've had them printed out forever. So I'm going to use those up, I hope. Hope to use a lot of this stuff up. Now for extra stuff, I have a little pile of papers that are ripped and whatnot. So I will use those just for bits and pieces of paper that I need. Like this one's got a big rip there. Nothing to say I can't glue something on there and use it, but I pulled them out while I was doing them. And these, I did these a long time ago. They're just strips, and I put them on like a sticker paper. So this is actually a sticker sheet. So I seen them and I thought, you know, I might be able to use those in these. So I dug those out. I also went through other papers that I use in journals, and I picked out 12 of kind of each thing. So my next step will be to pick out papers for each book. So I'll go through the digital stuff and put them in piles, etc. And then I know how many pages I need to add, because I'll probably put about 15 to 20 pages per journal. They'll just be single signatures again. So I've got 12 doilies. Most of them are like oval, like this here. But I didn't quite have enough, so there is kind of a more plain one and a couple of rectangle ones. But there'll be a doily in each one. Then I've got a bunch of smaller papers like this. And they will be fine. They will be narrower, whether I fold it over, make a pocket, or just cut it off, who knows. So we got 12 papers like that. And a little checklist type thing. Just wanting a variety. So, you know, fold that in half. And then we've got this, don't know if you could actually see that in the video, but it's got like almost like strings in it. So a dozen of those, a dozen of these butterflies that I can just fold in half. It's just like a stationery type stuff. Ledger papers. Some tea stain doily papers. Some are kind of not so nice, but they're kind of a mixture. And by the time I fold them, cover them, etc. Got those. We got some music papers. Some paper bags, which I've cut into 8.5 by 11. We've got some of this. Now this was in a Chinese book, and it was for learning calligraphy and Japanese writing. So it was a big book. So I'm going to put one of those in each, and they're kind of like a tissue paper type. Some old graph paper, and it's not tea-dyed, but it's just like a real yellow old color, so got that. And we've got some nicer tea-dyed papers, and you know, one per book. So we got a whole bunch of those. Then we have some stationery, which has been tea-dyed, so those are fun to use. And some more stationery. It looks like crumpled paper, and then it's tea-dyed on the back. And then more stationery, which I've been trying to use up the stationery. I have a lot of it. I'm going to tea-dye more of it because I'm getting low on the tea-dyed stuff. Some are actually pretty cool with different splatters on it and whatnot that I played around making. So that's kind of what I'm going to use. So I won't do the sorting of the papers on camera because I need to spread everything way out, way out. But what I will do is I'll go through the digital papers and pick out what I want for each book. Then I'll add one each of all these, and then every journal will go into a bag. Once I separate the papers, each journal will get its own bag. And then as I'm working, I pull the bag, I'll do the next step. Like, for instance, folding the papers. I will take a bag, I'll fold all the papers, put it back in the bag, set it off to the side. Do the next one and do it like that. That's how I did the other one. So each step I'll try to take you along. And then we'll do a little mask making for stuff to go inside of them. Some pockets, some tags, some cards, etc. And hopefully we'll have some fun doing this. So stay tuned for part 2 of our tall, skinny mask making journal project. I hope I remember the name of that because that was actually a good name. So we'll see you again soon. Bye.